What do Shakespeare, Apple, and Marvel have in common? For one, they aren't Walmart, Amazon, or Roto-Rooter. That difference is the biggest opportunity you have today. But if you don't understand how this works, well, you may have to call Roto-Rooter to snake your dream back. This is a story about something so basic it just flies right under the radar for most smart people. A few months ago, we had a mouse problem. We couldn't figure out how they were getting into the basement. So we called one of those big regional pest control companies, and someone came out and pitched us their standard package and their upgraded package. Next, we called a local guy who answered his own phone. He came out and took a look around and said, this is what he would do. My wife chose him because he struck her as a real person and not a representation of a faceless company. She felt like there would be some accountability there. Well, that's important when you live in a third world country like ours. A single human being's word has more weight than all the "your rights as a consumer" policies that we get quoted by credit card companies, also known as the art of dodging responsibility. It's harder for a small business to practice the dodge. They live in this strange little universe where doing good generally means doing well. So when the cry becomes, "There's a mouse in the house, get it out," they suddenly find they have a following, like Shakespeare, Marvel, and Apple. And because those three wrote, drew, and built with their audiences in mind, they became very popular. Shakespeare, for his crazy plots and characters, many of which came from old Roman plays no one could understand. Marvel Comics, for giving their heroes the problems that real kids struggled with, mostly feeling like a social outcast. And Apple, for designing computers we could get creative on without an advanced degree. That attention to their audiences created followers. The simplest way for you to do the same thing is to make edutainment videos and put them wherever your audience might be found. Edutainment has a follower feature built right in. If someone really likes what you taught, they'll come back for more. Notice I said really likes. If it's just a mild like and they don't need to know anything else, well, then you've paid it forward and that's the best that can be said about that video. But if you'd like someone to really like it, you'll have to understand your audience not just as a collection of people who have the same problems, but as human beings who share similar cultural influences. Say you sell legal consulting to family businesses with succession problems. A typical approach would be to run an ad to something cheap that liquidates your ad costs and upsells your prospect to a big, juicy package of consulting services. And that might help you scale your company into a LegalZoom so as you can start laying them consumer protection policies on us poor souls. But you want followers, not haters. So you look into it and find that your audience is multi-generational, obviously. So they have radically different cultural influences. One likes Barry Manilow, one likes Drake. So you look further and discover the root of their succession problems is in what each generation thinks is the right behavior for the other. You also learn each side is making technical mistakes that will cost them plenty when the time comes. Finally, you learn that both sides want the business to flourish and grow on the other side of this process. Now you can make a series of videos that demonstrate how what you do makes the transition seamless and conflict-free. Here's the framework. 1. Know what the person is trying to do often enough that not being able to do it well hurts. 2. Explore the influences that brought them to that moment. For example, was she a Girl Scout and now sees the world forever through that lens? Or was she a biker mama raised on Led Zeppelin and warm beer? Or maybe both. 3. Know what they want for their future. Everyone lives more comfortably in their imagination than in the real world. And the magic of your solution is that what they see now only in their imagination is what they can begin to see in the world. Once you know these things, now it's time to start embodying the sights and sounds and physicality that demonstrate your knowledge of their problems, why they're problems, and exactly what you do about them. Then, in various ways, you say it again and again until it begins to sink in. The big corporations aren't going to do that, except for the repetition bit. They could care less. They don't have followers. They see you as a potential lawsuit. That is your opportunity. Imagine if your ideal client wanted to give you their business instead of to Amazon. That's what it means to have followers. You don't have to be Peter Parker, Hamlet, or Steve Jobs. You become more important than all those people for the right people. The easiest way to do that is to make a video. The kinds of videos we talk about every week in Inner Circle, where everyone gets a chance to make their work resonate more than any in their market. You can't help but create trust, credibility, and sales that way, which is the natural result when a business becomes a visible authority.